Learn how to use async and await with fetch method to download and unpack JSON data using the cleanest syntax possible. This example simulates a successful network request to a data.json, even though you are not seeing any output here. But if you look at this instruction, it says open your browser console to see the printed JSON data. So I'm going to open the console, and you can see that inside the console there's an object that contains the price, the stock, and title of the product. So let's go ahead and take a look at this code together. So here's my boilerplate code, and as we know that using async and await with promises is far more better and cleaner than using the then method that allows you to change multiple promises. So let's look at a function that we can use to simulate how we can fetch in JavaScript. So I have three commented out instructions there. The first one says make a function call to fetch data from an API and print the JSON data to the console. Then use the async and await pattern in order to display the result. So let's go ahead and make the first function. So I'll call that function fake fetch. Since we are simulating, you can call it anything, whether simulated fetch or simulation or just anything, it will still work. But in my own case, I'm using fake fetch. The name does not matter. Return. What do I want this function to return? I want it to return a promise. And for that promise, it will take these two built-in parameter for promises. Now, I can then use a set timeout, another method, built-in method in JavaScript, in order to control the timing of when the output should be displayed. So inside this set timeout method is where I'm going to pass in the data, the JSON data. And this JSON data is just going to contain information about what I want to show, what I want to display, or the products that I want to talk about. So with this now, I can go ahead and use the promise.resolve, that is the part that will handle the sources to show this. And inside this, I will have a title. So the title could be anything. So let me call it product A. And then use comma to separate it. Price. So I call it $49.99. And lastly, the stock, the availability of it. So I can call it 100 or 12 or whatever. And I can go ahead and then close this. So now that I've done that, I come here and come here to add the time. So 1000 milliseconds. That is it. That is 1 second. After 1 second, then I want the content or the data from my JSON to be displayed inside the console. Currently now, if you inspect the console, you are not going to see anything inside of it. As you can see that the console is clean. But now that I have done this, it's now time to do this using the async await pattern. So in order to get to display the data from this JSON process, then I want to use async and await in order to process the results. So I will what should I call this? I will pre-put async, if there's any English like that, as the first thing before my function. So I will make another function which is going to be for the async and await pattern. So let me call it fetch data, or you can call it anything. You can call it load data. You can call it anything. It might not even be data related, as long as it is a name that you can reference, then it will work. And inside it, I want to add a variable that is going to handle the response from what I have in my code. So I will call the fake fetch. And what is the fake fetch going to read from? So let me just say data.json, data.json. Then again, I'll make another variable and call it data. And so this is going to await before it will pop up the data and then log the data. And now that I've done this, I can just come here and call my function load data. And let's see what happens inside the console. And inside the console, we are not seeing anything actually. And that means that something is actually wrong here. So let me see. If I remove the data.json, it is still the same thing. So this means that I am missing something. So let me revert it back. And what am I missing? I think, okay, if you look closely, yes. So this should take a parameter of URL. If you see, as you can see, and in that parameter, then JSON, this should work. Okay, so this is actually not displaying. Well, let's see. Response.json is not a function. That means if you look at line 57, so it's complaining about this line, which means what we have here does not match what we have here. So if let's see this, if we change this to capital JSON, this work, of course, you can see. So, but for consistency, I'm going to just use a small letter. So JSON, and now you can see our objects, title, price, and stock. So look at how clean the inside of load data looks. It's just 3 lines of direct logic. You can see it. Now this line 49 here fetches the file container. So this unpacks it into a clean object and then this prints it out. So no complex nested callbacks is needed for this example. And this is how we can use async and await pattern in order to fetch results and put them in a clean way.